This is an audio-visual presentation on linear equations and inequalities. Now, before we start with the linear equations, let's look at the difference between an equation and an identity. The difference between an equation and an identity. An equation is a statement that is true for only a finite set of real numbers of the variable. But the identity is a statement that is true for all real numbers of the variable. So, equation is true for only finite set of real numbers, but the identity is true for all real numbers of the variable. Now, let's look at the illustration. 2x plus 2 equals 8 is an equation. How do you solve for x? Plus 2 on the left hand side becomes minus 2 on the right hand side. And 8 minus 2 equals 6. So 2x equals 6. Now solving for x, we divide the left hand side by 2. And we have x on the left hand side. Dividing the right hand side by 2, we have 6 over 2. And the answer is 3. This means that the value of x is equal to 3. Now, from the equation 2x plus 2 equals 8. After calculation, x gives us 3. Now let's substitute and see. Substituting 3 wherever we see x in the equation, 2x plus 2 equals 8. We have 2 times 3 plus 2 equals 8. And 2 times 3 equals 6. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. Now 6 plus 2 equals 8 on the left hand side. And this is equal to 8 on the right hand side. So we can see that the left hand side of the equation is equal to the right hand side of the equation after substituting x is equal to 3. So this equation 2x plus 2 equals 8 is only true for x equals 3 and no other number. Now let's consider this identity. X plus 2 all square equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. When you expand x plus 2 all square, you will get x squared plus 4x plus 4. And this is an identity. Now, when we put x equals 1, that means that wherever you see x, we substitute 1. And so in doing that, we have 1 plus 2 all square equals 1 square plus 4 times 1 plus 4. 1 plus 2 is 3. So we have 3 square on the left hand side, and 3 square is equal to 9. Now 1 square equals 1. 4 times 1 equals 4 plus 4. So 1 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 9. So we can see that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side for x equals 1. Now let's take another value of x and see. When x equals 2, wherever you see x, we substitute 2. And in doing that, we have 2 plus 2 square on the left hand side is equal to 2 square plus 4 times 2 plus 4. Now 2 plus 2 is 4. So we have 4 square on the left hand side, and 4 square equals 16. Now 2 square is equal to 4. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So plus 4. Now 4 plus 8 is equal to 12. And 12 plus 4 is equal to 16. So we can also see that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side for x is equal to 2. Now let's continue. X equals 3. So we substitute 3 wherever we see x in the identity. In doing that, we have 3 plus 2 square is equal to 3 square plus 4 times 3 plus 4. Now 3 plus 2 equals 5. So we have 5 square. And 5 square is equal to 25. 3 square is equal to 9. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. So plus 4. Now we have 9 plus 12. That is 21. And 21 plus 4 is equal to 25. So 25 is equal to 25. That is the left hand side is also equal to the right hand side for x equals 3. That means that for any x value that you take, your left hand side will be equal to the right hand side. And that is what you call an identity. That is the behavior of an identity. The identity is true for all values of real numbers, but for an equation it is true for a specific value. That is the difference between an equation and an identity. Now, linear equations. A linear equation is any equation that can be expressed in the form ax plus b equals 0, where a is not equal to 0. That is, the coefficient of the x is not equal to 0, and x is a variable. Example, 2x plus 3 equals 0 is a linear equation. Coefficient of x is 2 and the constant is 3. Solving a linear equation. Example, solve the equation A, 3 over 2x equals 5 over 7. B, 5x minus 6 divided by 3x plus 2 equals 2 over 3. Now let's look at the solution. A, given 3 over 2x equals 5 over 7. Solving for the equation means we are solving for the variable, so it means we are solving for x. Now we have to cross multiply, so we multiply 2x by 5, and so we have 2x times 5 is equal to, we also multiply 3 by 7, that is cross multiplication. So we have 2x times 5 is equal to 3 times 7. Now 2x times 5 is equal to 10x, and 3 times 7 is equal to 21. If 10x is equal to 21 and we are solving for x, we divide the left hand side by 10, and we divide the right hand side also by 10. Dividing the left hand side by 10, we have x, and dividing the right hand side by 10, we have 21 over 10, and the answer is 2.1. So the value of x is equal to 2.1. Now let's look at the example in B. Given 5x minus 6 divided by 3x plus 2 is equal to 2 over 3. Solving for this equation means that we are solving for the variable x. Now we cross multiply. So 2 multiplies 3x plus 2, and 3 also multiplies 5x minus 6. Now we have 2 times 3x plus 2, that is 2 times 3x plus 2 is equal to 3 times 5x minus 6. And that is how come we have 3 times 5x minus 6. Now we expand. So 2 times 3x equals 6x. 2 times 2 equals 4. This is equal to 3 times 5x equals 15x. And 3 times minus 6 equals minus 18. Take note that we are solving for the variable x. So we group the variable on one side and the constant also on one side. Now in this case, let's group the constant on the left hand side. So minus 18 on the right hand side becomes plus 18 on the left hand side. And 6x on the left hand side becomes minus 6x on the right hand side. So 4 plus 18 is equal to 22. And this is equal to 15x minus 6x will give us 9x. Now let's proceed. From 4 plus 18 is equal to 15x minus 6x. 4 plus 18 equals 22. And this is equal to 15x minus 6x equals 9x. Now 22 equals 9x can also be written as 9x equals 22. We are solving for x. And so we divide both sides by the constant attached to the variable x, and that is 9. So we divide the left hand side by 9. And when we divide 9x by 9, we have x. Dividing the right hand side by 9, we have 22 over 9. And 22 divided by 9 is equal to 2.44. 2.44. That is corrected to 2 decimal places. 2.44. That is corrected to 2 decimal places. Now, word problems. Example. 5 times a number is 8 more than the number. Determine the number. This problem means that there is a number. 5 times that number is 8 more than the number. So we should determine the number. Now let's look at how you can solve this problem. Solution. Let x be that number. 5 times the number implies 5x. That if x is the number, then 5 times the number will be 5x. 8 more than the number implies x plus 8. That's 8 more than the number. Now from the question, 5 times the number is equal to 8 more than the number. That means that 5x equals x plus 8. Now x on the right hand side becomes minus x on the left hand side. So we have 5x minus x is equal to 8. Now 5x minus x is giving us 4x. How did we get the 4x? Take note that the coefficient of the x here is 1, but we don't write 1x, and that is why the 1 is not seen. Now when we subtract that 1 from 5, the result is 4. That is how come we have 4x on the left hand side. Please don't write 1x. So 4x equals 8. Now we are solving for x, so we divide the left hand side by 4 and we divide the right hand side by 4. When we divide the left hand side by 4, we are left with x, and this is equal to, when we divide the right hand side by 4, we have 8 over 4, and the answer is 2, because 4 goes into 8 2 times. This means that the value of x is equal to 2. This means that the value of x is equal to 2. Example: the sum of 3 consecutive even numbers is 24. Find the numbers. The sum of 3 consecutive even numbers is 24. Find the numbers. Solution: let x denote the first number. Let x denote the first number. So the other numbers are x plus 2 and x plus 4. This is because if the first number is x, the second number will be x plus 2, because even numbers differ by 2. When we add 2 to x plus 2, we have the third number, that is x plus 4. It means that the 3 consecutive even numbers are x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. Now from the question, the sum of the 3 consecutive even numbers is equal to 24. So x plus 2 plus x plus 4 is equal to 24. Now x plus x plus x is equal to 3x, because coefficients of the x are all 1. So we have 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that is giving us 3. So we have 3x. Now 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. And so 3x plus 6 on the left hand side is equal to 24 on the right hand side. Now solving for x, we have to group the constants on one side. And so plus 6 on the left hand side becomes minus 6 on the right hand side. Now let's proceed. 3x equals 24 minus 6, because plus 6 that was on the left hand side is now minus 6 on the right hand side, and 24 minus 6 is equal to 18. Now if 3x is equal to 18, how do we solve for x? We need to divide both sides by 3. Why are we dividing both sides by 3? Because that is the constant attached to the variable we are making the subject. So we divide the left hand side by 3, and whatever you do on the left hand side, in order not to change the equation, we do the same thing to the right hand side. When we divide 3x by 3, we are left with x. And when we divide 18 by 3, we have 18 divided by 3. And 3 goes into 18 6 times. That means that the value of x is equal to 6. So the first even number is 6. Now, the second even number is x plus 2. Because x is now 6, that means we have 6 plus 2. And 6 plus 2 equals 8. That is why the second even number is 8. The third even number is x plus 4. And because x is equal to 6, we have 6 plus 4. And 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. And so the third even number is 10. Therefore, the 3 consecutive even numbers are 6, 8, and 10. 6, 8, and 10. Now, linear inequalities. Linear inequalities. When the symbols such as less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than, greater than, and not equal to are used in an expression, then we refer to such statements as inequalities. Now, this is the less than or equal to sign. This is the greater than or equal to sign. We have the less than sign. This is the sign of greater than, and this is the sign of not equal to. So take note of these signs. We have the less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than, greater than, and not equal to. Not equal to. Now let's consider the number line. Considering the inequality x is less than c. X is less than c. That means that values of x less than c are on the left of c. Take note, we use a circle to represent the number c. We use the circle to represent the number c on the number line. So x less than c, that means that the values of x less than c are on the left. That is why the arrow is pointing to the left. Take note that the circle is not shaded. You understand why it's not shaded. Now, when we consider this number line, the inequality is x is less than or equal to c. So values of x less than or equal to c are on the left of c. This circle is shaded because the inequality sign is less than or equal to. The inequality sign is less than or equal to. So because of the equal to, it means that c is also included. That is why the circle is shaded. Now, considering this number line, the inequality is x is greater than c. Values of x greater than c are on the right of c. That is why the arrow is pointing to the right. And the circle is not shaded because it's a greater than sign. It's a greater than sign. That means that c is not included. That is why we don't shade the c. That is why we've not shaded the c. Now, considering the number line, we have 2 and 5 to be the endpoint. Now, the inequality is x is greater than 2. Values of x greater than 2 are on the right of 2. That is from the left to the right. And the same x is less than 5. And values of x less than 5 are on the left of 5. This means that it's between 2 and 5. Take note that the circles at 2 and the circle at 5 are not shaded because 2 and 5 are not included. 2 and 5 is not included. Now, when we consider this number line, it's between 2 and 5. The inequality implies that x is greater than 2 and values of x greater than 2 are on the right of 2. And x is less than or equal to 5. Values of x less than or equal to 5 are on the left of 5. But because x is less than or equal to 5, that means that x is also equal to 5. And that is why the circle at 5 is shaded. That is why the circle at 5 is shaded. Now, considering this number line is between 2 and 5, we can see from the inequality that x is greater than or equal to 2. That means that 2 is included. That's why the circle at 2 is shaded. And the values of x greater than or equal to 2 are on the right of 2. The same x less than or equal to 5. So because it's less than or equal to 5, that means that x is also equal to 5. So the circle at 5 is also shaded. And the values of x less than or equal to 5 are on the right, are on the left of 5 from 5 itself. So that is the number line. This is the number line for the inequality x greater than or equal to 2 but less than or equal to 5. So it's between the point 2 and 3, and take note, it's between the point 2 and 5, and take note 2 and 5 is included because x is equal to 2 and x is also equal to 5. Now example, find the true set of the following. A, 1 over 2 into bracket 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 5 over 2. B, 1 over 3 into bracket 4x minus 1 greater than or equal to 1. Now let's look at the solution. Given 1 over 2 into bracket 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 5 over 2, what we have to do is to multiply through by the LCM, and the LCM is 2. So we multiply the left hand side of the inequality by 2, and that is how come we have 2 times 1 over 2 3x minus 4. less than or equal to, we also multiply the right hand side by 2. That is how come we have 2 times 5 over 2. Now 2 will cancel 2, and so we have 1 times 3x minus 4, and the answer is 3x minus 4. Less than or equal to 2 will also cancel 2, so we are left with 5. Now let's proceed. We have 3x minus 4 on the left hand side, less than or equal to 5. Take note that minus 4 on the left hand side also becomes plus 4 on the right hand side because it has crossed the inequality sign. So minus 4 on the left hand side also becomes plus 4 on the right hand side. Now 5 plus 4 equals 9. So we have 3x less than or equal to 9. Take note that we are solving for x. So we divide the left hand side by 3 and we divide the right hand side by 3. When we divide the left hand side by 3, we have x. And when we divide the right hand side by 3, we have 9 over 3, that is 3. Therefore, the value of x is less than or equal to 3. So the true set is equal to x is said that x is less than or equal to 3. That is how we represent the true set in the curly bracket as shown. In the braces or the curly bracket as shown. X is said that x is less than or equal to 3. Now we consider the example in B. 1 over 3 into bracket 4x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 1. Now here you also multiply through by the LCM, and the LCM is 3. So we multiply the left hand side by 3, and that is how come we have 3 times 1 over 3 into bracket 4x minus 1. This is greater than or equal to, we also multiply the right hand side 1 by 3, and that is how come we have 3 times 1. Now 3 will cancel 3, and we are left with 1 times 4x minus 1. That is 4x minus 1. Greater than or equal to, when we multiply 3 by 1, the result is 3. Now let's proceed. If we have 4x minus 1 greater than or equal to 3, take note that because we are solving for x, we have to group the constant on one side. So grouping the constant on the right hand side, take note that minus 1 on the left hand side of the inequality becomes plus 1 on the right hand side. And 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Now if 4x is greater than or equal to 4, how do we solve for x? We divide the left hand side by 4, and that will give us x. And we divide the right hand side by 4, and 4 over 4 is equal to 1. So x is greater than or equal to 1. Therefore, the true set is x is said that x is greater than or equal to 1. Now let's consider this example. Find the true set of 1 over 3 into bracket 5x minus 2 greater than 4 over 9 into bracket 7x minus 4 minus 1 over 3, where x is a real number. Illustrate your results on the number line. Now let's look at the solution. Given 1 over 3 into bracket 5x minus 2 greater than 4 over 9 into bracket 7x minus 4 minus 1 over 3. What we have to do is to multiply through by the LCM, and the LCM of 3 and 9 is 9. So we multiply through by 9, and so multiplying 1 over 3 into bracket 5x minus 2 by 9, we have 9 times 1 over 3 into bracket 5x minus 2. This is greater than, we also multiply 9 by the term 4 over 9 into bracket 7x minus 4, and that is how come we have 9 times 4 over 9 into bracket 7x minus 4, minus we multiply 9 by 1 over 3, and that is how come we have 9 times 1 over 3. Now 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 times 1 equals 3, so we have 3 into bracket 5x minus 2 greater than 9 goes into 9 once, and 1 times 4 is equal to 4. So we have 4 into bracket 7x minus 4. That is 4 into bracket 7x minus 4. Minus, now 3 also goes into 9 3 times, and 3 times 1 equals 3. So that is how come we have 3. We have minus 3 because of our minus here. Now we have 3 into bracket 5x minus 2 is greater than 4 into bracket 7x minus 4 minus 3. Now we have to expand. So 3 times 5x will give us 15x. 3 times minus 2 will give us minus 6. This is greater than 4 times 7x will give us 28x. 4 times minus 4 will give us minus 16 or minus 3. Now let's proceed. After expanding, we have 15x minus 6 is greater than 28x minus 16 minus 3. Now minus 6 on the left hand side becomes plus 6 on the right hand side. That is because we are solving for x. We group the terms with the x on the left hand side and we group the constants also on the right hand side. So we know that now from here minus 16 minus 3 is equal to minus 19. And minus 6 on the left hand side becomes plus 6 on the right hand side. Now 15x minus 28x will give us minus 13x. And this is greater than minus 19 plus 6 is equal to minus 13. So we have minus 13x is greater than minus 13. Now first, let's divide through by 13. So dividing minus 13x by 13, we are left with minus x. Greater than, when we divide minus 13 by 13, we are left with minus 1. So we have minus x is greater than minus 1. Take note that we are solving for x, not minus x. So we divide the left hand side by negative 1. And we divide the right hand side also by negative 1. Now dividing minus x by minus 1, we have minus x divided by minus 1. And the answer is x. Dividing the right hand side by minus 1, we have minus 1 divided by minus 1. And minus 1 divided by minus 1 is equal to 1. Now take note that x is less than 1. You can see that the inequality sign, instead of being greater than, has now changed to less than. And this is because we are dividing through by a negative number. So take note, when you divide through by a negative number, the inequality sign changes. If it is a greater than sign, it will change to a less than sign. Also, if it's a less than sign, it will change to a greater than sign. It's very important, so take note. Now finally, we have x is less than 1. And values of x less than 1 are on the left of 1 on the graph. That is why the arrow is pointing to the left. That is x is less than 1. Values of x less than 1 are values on the left of 1. Take note that a circle is not shaded because its x is less than 1. So x, that is 1, is not included. That is why the circle at 1 is not shaded. Take note, x less than 1. Values of x less than 1 are values on the left of 1. And that is why the arrow is pointing to the left. So this is the number line of the inequality x is less than 1. This is the end of our presentation on linear equations and inequalities.